Now we've had time to look at the new update, we've realised that a legend has had a secret buff and nerf, an heirloom has received a change that might suggest a recolor soon, and also I was very wrong about this milestone event. It's actually cheaper than a normal collection event. But first, a few people have noticed a weird change in this update. Now you can't inspect your knuckles, you can't crack your knuckles, so if you have no heirloom, you have nothing to spam inspect. I don't think this is deliberate because I don't see why Respawn would remove this inspect animation, but we'll have to see how it pans out. Next, let's talk about the new event, because it turns out yesterday when I said it was expensive, I was actually wrong. But first, as Apex players, we want every single frame per second we can get. But if we have a browser tab open in the background, it will suck resources. Well, actually, there's a solution. Opera GX. Opera GX is a browser for you and me because it has cool features like GX Control, where you can control the amount of CPU and RAM Opera can use, allowing you to get more FPS in your video games, and watch Dr. House in the background. But honestly, the best part about Opera GX is GX mods, giving you ultimate customization over your browser. So if I'm not rocking with how Opera looks, I can go get the Doom Eternal mod, and now my browser looks like this. And it even sounds like this. Actually, no, I want an Elden Ring mod. Yeah, that sounds better. I mean, this literally changes everything. I cannot stress it enough. And you can actually just turn it off like this if you don't want it. Also, Opera comes with an inbuilt AI just right here that you can press and then ask questions. This AI uses ChatGPT, so you can ask them, hey, does Apex actually use engagement-based matchmaking, or is that a lie? And you can learn the truth once and for all. And hey, guess what? The best part about Opera is it's free. If you're fed up of your current browser and just want one that's probably better in every way, go with Opera through the link in the description or pinned comment. Anyway, let's get back to it. So, the Milestone event. Milestone events are usually pretty expensive, and I assumed this one was until people pointed out to me that it actually has way less items than a normal Milestone event. In fact, it only has 25 items compared to the normal 36 items. So, it turns out this Milestone event's a lot cheaper than a normal Milestone event. For the sake of example, the Power Sword Milestone event costs $260 to fully buy out, while the Watson Prestige Skin Milestone event only costs $148 to buy out, which, mind you, is $20 cheaper than a normal collection event where Respawn have always sold Prestige skins up until now. So the fact that we got a Prestige skin at a historically cheap price is pretty good, and hopefully Milestone events do get cheaper. This Milestone event has a great quality of life change for free-to-play players as well, because for the first time ever, you can craft the legendary legend skins with crafting materials, which is absolutely great. So I definitely did misjudge it yesterday, but that being said, despite being cheaper, you can only directly buy legend skins. You essentially still have to gamble for the rest of the skins. So some may prefer a cheaper overall event with the inability to get certain specific skins, and some may prefer a collection event where you can craft whatever the hell you want. Me personally, I think I prefer collection events because they're way more accessible to free-to-play players despite the new crafting changes. Maybe Respawn can fix this in the future though with Milestone events. But to those who were going to buy out the full event anyway, they probably don't care too much. Speaking of mythic rarity items, only a few people realized there was a change to Horizon's heirloom in this update. Usually, when we get changes to an heirloom for absolutely no reason at all and with no announcement, it sometimes means there's an heirloom recolor on the horizon. This happened with the Pathfinder heirloom and a few other heirlooms, so maybe we could get a Horizon heirloom recolor in the future. What's the change? Well, essentially, when you sprint spam with Horizon's heirloom now, it does have a visual effect with a blue outline. If this truly means anything, or Respawn just went back and decided to change a few things to make it more appealing, we don't know at the minute, but I'm sure there's some Horizon main that's happy to hear this. Speaking of mains though, people who main Revenant probably aren't very happy about the Vantage buff, and it's kind of blowing up how Vantage is completely beating Revenant out. If you're not aware, a few months ago, Respawn did give the Revenant tactical a few buffs to make it better, faster, and just fit into the modern movement of Apex. But with the new Vantage buff where she now deploys quicker and goes further, people have been comparing her to Revenant. And this is the comparison. It's a bad day for Revenant mains. And I never thought I would see the day where Revenant gets beaten by Vantage. Speaking of buffs though, there's one legend that Respawn buffed and didn't tell us, and then with the most recent update, nerfed and then didn't tell us. And I don't know why they're doing this, but the legend we're talking about is Caustic. Seriously, he got a buff and then a nerf. So what buff did he get? At the start of season 25, he got a buff to his gas. The gas trap gassing duration went from 11 seconds to 22 seconds, and only a few people noticed. I don't know why Respawn didn't mention they did this. It may have been a mistake, but it gets hard to write this random unannounced buff off as a mistake in the recent update, because already people have found the hidden Caustic nerf Respawn put into the game. Now, if an enemy Caustic barrel deploys, it will be highlighted through the gas, making it way easier to destroy and way easier to counter. And both of these changes were completely unannounced. What is Respawn cooking? Well, either for some reason they just didn't want to tell us they made this change and thought maybe the gas stuck around for too long with their recent buff, so they made it easier to destroy the gas container, or they're currently developing a new little rework for Caustic to catch him up like they have been doing with the other legends, and they keep accidentally pushing these changes to the game, and they don't realize because nobody plays Caustic, nobody realizes. If Respawn pushed a buff to make Wraith's portal last 2 times as long, people would notice in a day. But with Caustic, when they did the same thing to his tactical, people just didn't notice. I mean, just for some perspective, a pretty crazy glitch has been discovered on only the 2nd day of the update, where Respawn accidentally massively increased the interact distance for respawns. So now, if you want to respawn somebody and you're sliding, well, don't worry. As long as you start the respawn, you can go as far away from the beacon as you want. This is especially OP with Mirage, considering you go invisible when respawning with Mirage. This is a pretty crazy oversight, so if a Mirage just randomly materializes in front of you, that's probably why. And the same person who discovered this glitch is just now messing around with it and posting clips of it. He managed to get a Mirage invisible B-hop, which is kind of insane, and I think it's needless to say that this is going to be fixed very soon. Believe it or not, Respawn have already started to tackle some of the glitches this event brought as well. As over on their Twitter, we have 2 confirmed patches so far, and I would imagine over the next few days we are going to get a few more, just polishing up the game and making sure it's okay. The first patch was pushed to address some issues with Ballistic Sling. I'm not really sure what the issues were, but they are fixed. And then another patch came out addressing an issue with Watson's Ultimate Conductor upgrade where it was charging when it shouldn't. There's actually another Watson upgrade glitch happening right now where if you equip her Energized Healer perk and then equip a gold helmet and then drop the helmet, the Energized Healer upgrade would just stop working. A lot of people theorized that this issue was happening because characters likely had a little box that got ticked when they put on a purple helmet saying double heals, and when they drop the helmet it would untick that box, not considering that Watson has a double heal upgrade present. So some great responses to issues and glitches from Respawn here, and they're fixing them really fast. But right now the attitude and sentiment around this new event is pretty solid. People are enjoying it, and I think Respawn are making steps in the right direction. I can't wait to see what season 26 brings, because I still think there's a bit more to be done, especially bringing the rest of the legends up to the power level of some of the recently buffed legends, but I'm sure Respawn have got that in the bag. Subscribe to stay updated though.